What up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Realms with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, go ahead and take your social media app of choice and craft them a well-thought-out DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Realms with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at The 3R Show, who I have a fucking issue with because they get that damn app update and I'm doing videos, creating motherfucking content and shit, and they don't show nothing. All it is audio. The screen was black and it fucking pissed me off. But anyway, Instagram at The 3R Show, Twitch, for twitch.tv/3R Show, YouTube 3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can go to randomrob.com. It's all there in one place. Now, got a guess. Y'all know that. This is how I do. And I usually give a little backstory on how I come to find out about these people and try to solicit them to be on the podcast. So 2018, I was at Bar Bohemi, somewhere downtown in Houston, Texas. And we did this thing that I may have talked about on the podcast. It was right around maybe Comic Palooza or something like that, or sometime after. We put together this thing with a whole bunch of local Houston podcasts. It's called the H-Town Podfest. So the two times that we did it in 2018, 2019, we both did it at Bar Bohemi. But anyway, first time we did it, Bar Bohemi, I met these three ladies from a podcast called the Soul Filling Podcast. Nice looking young ladies or whatever, and I can say that because I'm an older married gentleman and I have to describe each young lady as a nice young lady. So talked with them, gave them some buttons and stickers and other memorabilia from my show. I tried to get them on here a while back, but you know, they doing things and stuff. But following them on social media, and they were at a live show. At this live show was the man sitting across from me virtually. And I heard him sing, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I didn't mean that in a discouraging way. I was like, I ain't hearing nothing like this on the regular, because it's more likely some other bullshit like that. So I was like, whoa, breath of fucking fresh air. So I scrolled down to the comments, found his name, hit the follow button. Been following him ever since, just seeing the journey that is him. And a lot of ups and downs in there. Instagram page full of pictures that went away, that came back, and all kinds of other crazy shit. But the one thing out of the whole journey was the music, and that's what brought me in, and that's what got me to reach out. So joining me virtually, local artists from here in Houston, Texas, Dende. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing today?
Hanging in there.
Thank you for having me, first of all.
Yeah, sure. Man. I mean, I appreciate you giving me your time or whatever, because I mean, you're a creative young man. I've been peeking at you through the window of social media and seeing you do all kinds of, you know, amazing things. And it's just for you to take time away from that to be here with me while I drink wine out of a cup is great.
Well, I'm drinking Parmesan, so we in the same boat. Look.
Very well. But we was talking a little bit before we got on to recording properly and everything. You was talking about how you like to sit low and lean sideways and all kind of shit like that. Very indicative of a Houstonian. But when I first laid eyes on you and just seeing how you carry yourself as far as your musical abilities and things like that, I did not think you were from here. So, I mean, are you from here originally, or are your people from here? What's going on?
I was born in Austin.
Okay.
I moved to Houston when I was 5. So I grew up in this area. My mom is from off of Homestead. My grandma still lives off of Homestead. I'm technically not from Houston at all in any sense of the word, because even when I moved to the Houston area, I grew up in Katy.
Yeah.
So really, I'm technically not from Houston, but like the culture that I grew up around and being with like my cousins and my grandma and stuff like that is Houston. So like that'll always be my heart, and that's where I lend everything to is Houston. So that's
Okay.
just the person I am.
Word. And I get it. Cause I'm not natively from here as well. I'm from Louisiana.
My
So
other family's from Louisiana.
it makes sense. Cause moving to Houston after I retired from the military, I did not know how much the Houston music scene influenced my childhood.
Mm.
Because I think about eighth grade, I found what screw was. And I was like, whoa, this is some otherworldly shit. I was like, man, your battery's dying in your damn Walkman. What's going on? And then I was just like listening to it and just, I moved here, turn on the local radio station, and they played my childhood. I was like, whoa, hold on. Paul Wall, Slim Thug, goddamn Michael Watts, all them motherfuckers just like all on the radio. And that's another thing that I appreciated about Houston, that they support their talent and whatnot. So some of the things that I want to roll into when I see you, and that's what I was telling you earlier, is just like the way you conduct yourself as an independent artist or whatever is not that of what I see from a lot of independent artists. So, I mean, is that something that somebody instilled in you or kind of gave you the tip like, hey, man, fake it till you make it or whatever the case may be? I mean, what's up with that?
The way I move is heavily influenced by watching my mom move in her life. She's she owns her own business. She owns two businesses actually. They're not anything to do with music. They're like home health, healthcare and like that. But just seeing her work and take care of her business and be in charge of it and not let anybody treat her oddly in that situation influenced me heavily. But another way I connect myself is I try to be as true to myself as I possibly can without trying to put on a facade, if that makes sense. Because I feel like a lot of people, even just in Houston, try to put on, they want to be, I'm a Houston artist, so this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm from Houston, so I'm a Houston artist. Like, I don't have to do that to be a Houston artist. I'm here. I grew up here. Like, that's who I am. But I do agree. I carry myself a little bit differently, but it was mostly influenced by my mom, just watching her take care of her business.
Okay. Now, as far as doing your own thing, just carving your own path and whatnot, just going back through what I can see of the catalog that when I was looking up your music and whatnot, I see that a lot of your older stuff from like 2017, 2018 and everything like that were under some kind of label or ownership. And then most of the 19 and 2020 stuff is under your own name. So, I mean, how was that experience, or is that just something that you decided to do on your own?
It wasn't that it was under ownership. I was under a different name.
Oh.
I was never under somebody else. And that it makes sense that would be like the perceived thing. I was just my real name is Jeremy.
Yeah.
In middle school and high school, my nickname was Germ. So at one point, I was going by Germ when I was making music, and that music was trash. But when I would distribute it, they would ask you what the distro I was under. They would ask you if you wanted to distribute it under a label, and I made my own label. And I just named it. It was like Kami's Lookout or something like that. And I put it under that. So it would be perceived that I was under somebody, but I really wasn't. And then I changed my name. I was, it's always been the same. It's just been me putting it out by myself, but it's just a different direction that I decided to go under.
Okay, cool. So like, what has that experience been like from you, for you since, you started with Germ and that made the transition here into Dende?
Honestly, Germ was more of me trying to just make stuff and be like, hey guys, I can do this. And then Dende was me departing from who I used to be, like as a person in general, because I feel like my music is a representation of who I am. But Dende is me departing from who I was as a person before and then being like my true self. It's kind of liberating, I would say.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun. But it's also sometimes it's really sad because I have to visit things that I might not want to visit in my history and memory of having to write. I think it's definitely rewarding though. Being able to do it and do it the way I want to do it, because when I make music, I kind of want people to understand who I am and understand me as a person.
Okay.
So it's definitely rewarding when people are like, "Hey, I really appreciated this song or this lyric or something like that."
So what goes into the process now, vice from when you were Germ trying to put stuff together and make this music?
As of now, so back then I was making stuff and I was like, I don't want to make my mom or my dad or my grandma or my family upset with anything I say. I don't want to cuss. I don't want to offend anybody. But now it's just like I'm gonna say exactly what's in my head, and I'm gonna tell my story exactly how it happened, and I'm gonna tell my side of it. And like I said, it's a little bit more liberating, and it's definitely freeing to be able to speak your truth into the world, because some people make music for other people, but I honestly can say I make music for myself and I put it out, and then if people like can accept it and like get something from it, then that's cool, but I really am just putting it out because it's me. Yeah, it's definitely a different process, because before it was just like me trying to make stuff that wasn't gonna upset anyone else, and now it's just like, is it good? Like, is it good? Then put it out.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that because I kind of dealt with that in the beginning of my podcasting, and I was just like, somebody gonna hear this, and then it's gonna get back to the wrong person, and yada yada yada. And I was like, well, fuck it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say to someone's face, you know.
for sure.
It's just like, so what's the point in trying to hide it or, you know, suppress it and whatnot? I just like, I say what the fuck I want. I say motherfucker a lot. So motherfucker it is.
Motherfucker, it is. I agree. It's just like I want my internet, my on screen, and my music and my in person to be the same person. So now that transition from Germ to Dende is, as Germ was a different entity, Dende is literally who I am, and all those things line up, and you're getting exactly what you're gonna get no matter where you see me at.
Word. Word. So what made you go with Dende?
I'm a nerd. If people don't know, Dende is from Dragon Ball Z. It's an anime. Dende is not the strongest character in the show whatsoever. He's not a fighter at all. The show is all about fighting, but he's not a fighter. Basically, he's taken and like made to watch over Earth. The whole premise of the show, Dragon Ball, wouldn't make any sense if he wasn't there anymore, because the Dragon Balls wouldn't exist. So nobody's like wishes would come true. I feel like I'm not the most powerful or the most important person up front, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a very important person, maybe in the sideline or in the background that people don't maybe know about. But I influence things and I make sure things are going. So that's kind of why I picked that name. It was half of me just being a nerd. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Half of it was me being a nerd, and the other half was like, I really relate with this character, because I'm not the guy that's up front fighting these battles, but I'm the guy that's like influencing things and making sure it's going the right way.
Word. Man, my lights is just going crazy right now. Fucking my eyeballs up. Anyway, you talk about you being you and that being represented on all your social media platforms and whatnot. What I've noticed over the past couple of months and everything, that you started to expand and branch out and to lend that character that is you to different platforms. You've been going to different podcasts, being guests, and I appreciate you for being here as well. You also started your own podcast, the Dende Hour, also the All Cap podcast. So,
Yeah.
what was the inspiration behind that?
Okay, so I love podcasts. Like literally at this point in my life, I still work a job and I do music. At my job, I don't listen to music anymore. I listen to podcasts, and mostly what I listen to on podcasts is like comedy podcasts.
Oh yeah.
I'm heavily influenced by those because I think it's a free expression. And so I wanted to start a podcast with my friends. So that's how All Cap came. And All Cap was literally just us seeing what we could say without getting canceled.
Very well.
literally why that podcast exists. We just every week we try to see what can we say this week. We don't even have to believe it. Like we can just say it, and if we get canceled, then fine. That's why we made this podcast. And then I decided to make Dende Hour because I wanted to make one that's actually not like serious, but it's like more content worthy. Where I talk to content creators, musicians, people in entertainment, and just have a conversation with them about their lives. Because me being an artist, I know I've done interviews and some people ask me the same questions.
Yeah.
It's just like, I kind of just want to talk.
Oh,
like I like to talk. Like I like to talk to people. So I was like, I want to bring people that make content and just talk to them, because some of them don't want to talk about their album. Some of them just want to talk. So I just wanted to talk to them. So that's why I made Dende Hour.
Word. Okay. So, because like you bring that up about people interviewing you and asking the same questions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna be one of those people tonight.
It's okay. I don't care.
I roamed around a little bit, and what I did find was it opened my eyes to some other shit that was going down here in Houston or whatever. The sessions. So I seen your performance on there and just like, what the fuck is this? Just kind of like how I found you. I was like, well, what the fuck is this? And I'm looking, I was like, oh shit, Dende on here. Let me check it out. And then you had the dude, I think he the CEO, Zay, right? Or something like that.
Zay, yeah.
Yeah. So you hit me to that, just kind of looking into you and some of the questions that I would have had, he asked you. So like, I know who your influences are. I know what your favorite song is that you've created. So, I mean, that kind of just slide that to the side. But what I will ask you from that whole experience that I've found, how important is programming and content like the sessions to an artist?
Ooh, very. I will say up there on par with putting out like your own content, like a project, because content like that is on par with like the color studios and stuff like that. It's just stuff you can share. Like literally after I did that, I shared it to Twitter, and I don't know if you know what the what is it called? It's like R&B. I don't want to misspeak. It's a page. It's a page on Instagram and Twitter, and they do R&B music. R&B Radar. R&B Radar like ran with that video, just a snippet of me singing from that.
Very well. I'm about to look it up now.
Got me a couple 100,000 just views of people listening to me sing from just running with it, because it was a good platform. It looked good. It sounded great.
Yes.
And it was just more content. So platforms like the sessions are definitely really important, because it's something that you don't even have to put together yourself, and it's just more content for your music. Because I have visuals for Take It From Me, which is the song I did there, but that visual was way better because it was me singing it live. And in my opinion, and other people that have listened to me's opinion, me singing live is a lot better than the recorded versions of songs. Like, so that one, like, it did a really good for me. Like, it did really good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I seen that, and it's just being introduced to the sessions in itself and whatnot. This one was funny, right? Because I listened to your album, Me, and I don't pay attention to like too many details. I just, all right, that's his album. I press play, let it run from top to bottom. I don't look at featuring whoever and whatever, right? So I look at the sessions, I see your performance, and then like a couple posts after you was the girl Lily. I seen her performance, and I was like, dog, him, Dende and her should get together and do a track. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Dude, Lily is one of my like best friends. Lily got me I used to work at a studio before the pandemic, Barron Studios. Lily got me my job there. Lily's amazing. She's an amazing artist. She's an amazing singer, and we did Armor. Yeah, she's dope. I love that girl.
Yeah. How did that relationship start?
When I was doing shows, I did a show with Bounce and Turn, and I also did that show with Tino, Uncle Tino, who's also on Armor. Uncle Tino plays Talkbox on Armor, and I was on the lineup with Tino, and Lily came to see Tino, and I just kind of linked up with Lily after that show. And that's really how that came. We just started talking to each other, and we all started becoming friends, and that's really where it just came from. Was just seeing people perform live, like that's what it was.
Yeah, because that shit, like, I'm sitting there, I was like, yo, no, they should really collab and do a track and shit. And then I was going through the album list. I was like,
Yeah, she's amazing.
yeah, I know. That just the whole what sold me on the song that she did, the Seasons or whatever, when she was like, "Why you send this motherfucker my way?" I was like, "Motherfucker, goddamn, that's the word." Automatically liked. I went to the iTunes download automatically. Didn't
I
even have to hear the
remember
rest of the song. I was just sold at that point right there.
I did her album release. Like I performed at her album release party. And I remember like it was before the album was actually out.
Mhm.
And she performed that song, and everyone in the room knew the words. And it was a packed room. It was great. I was so happy. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Everyone knew the words to Seasons. It was crazy.
So, I mean, even in akin to that or whatever, I mean, what has been that moment for you to where like you've had a performance out of everything that you've done, or just an instance involving you in music to where like, wow, this is just amazing?
I would say that voting one, that Move Texas one I did, but I didn't feel the energy because everyone was in a car because it was a drive-in concert and it was cold. That was the best environment for a concert because the stage was crazy and the lighting was crazy and the sound was great. But the moment that I really just felt like this is awesome was before me. I had an album called Dark Matter that I dropped, and that was before people were really even paying attention to me. And I was going to like open mics every week and performing songs. And I was performing at like barbershops and stuff. And then I threw an album release at a clothing store because no venues would let me do a show there. And I did it at a clothing store, and like 200 people showed up to my album release for Dark Matter showed up. And not everybody could get in. And I was like, before I even performed, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, it was wild. That was a great experience for me because I was just like, oh, these people actually care. Like, it was a validating feeling for sure.
Word. So I listened to a little bit of Dark Matter today, and it's different from me.
A lot different.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is just like it's almost kind of like got a little jazz to it and whatnot, and it was just like it kind of felt like somewhat experimental and everything compared to the me album and whatnot. I mean, what were you going through, and what was the environment like for you when you created Dark Matter?
Dark Matter honestly was me trying to make a project where I could be like, hey guys, I can do this. Like I can make music that you can like. Like that was literally just it. That was the whole premise of the album.
I have something for everybody.
It was just like, y'all like it. If you don't like this type of song, you like this type of song. And if you don't like this type of song, you like this type of song. And that was the whole premise of that. And going with me, I was like, I want to make a concept. Like I want it to go through my emotions and what I'm going through at the time. So that's the difference between those two. I appreciate Dark Matter because it was something that got people to pay attention to me, but it's not up to par with me for sure. Like at all.
What was like it came out from what I can remember. I mean, coincidentally, well, not coincidentally, because of how times were, the social distancing project that you did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was called Socially Distant. I'm tripping. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Distance. I said social distancing.
That
I was
was
like, yeah, 6 feet, motherfucker.
It's the same name. It's the same name. That came right after me. That was like during social. So basically, that came because I was like, oh, I have nothing to do. I had 2 jobs at the time, and I was like, I have nothing to do right now, so I need to make music. to kind of chronicleize what's going on in my life right now. So I made the music, and Austin Beatty made like a short film to it, and it was just really my emotions during the time and what was going on. Like there was random ass girls trying to hit me up, like, and that was what that what's that song called, Quarantine.
Yeah.
Where people were trying to hit me up, I'm just like, nah, fam, you don't love me, you just want my attention. It was, I went through a period of like depression, like, because I was getting to a point before quarantine where it was like, oh, I might blow up now.
Mm.
And I was getting booked every week, and I was like,
Then
oh, I'm going, I have 3 South by Southwest shows, I'm gonna be good, and then nothing. So I got depressed, and I was like, I'm not making any music at all. And so I ended up making that. I started talking about how I couldn't do anything, and then I started talking about these people that were trying to inch their way into my life. So I made an EP just to hold people over.
yeah, like kind of like Lil Wayne and Sorry for the Wait.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you got it's a single out right now. I didn't get a chance to put ear to it well, but I believe you got visuals for it called what's that? Telephone
Phone number.
phone
Phone
number. There you
number.
go.
Yes, sir. Phone number is I had so I made the song with a producer named Billy Blunt. He's out of Austin. He's also the guitar player from my friend Emerald Soul. If you haven't listened to Emerald Soul, you should try to get her on the show. She's out of Austin. She's an amazing performer.
Noted.
But he's her guitarist, and he is now my new favorite producer. But he sent me this beat for phone number, and I recorded something that I just automatically heard, and I got this artist from New Jersey. His name is Chris Patrick. He just dropped a song with Deontay Hitchcock. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's really dope out of Atlanta. And he's like pretty huge. He has songs with Jid and Black and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I got Byrie from New York on it. That song is basically about, there was people that were like trying to hop in my DMs and be like, hey, I want to help you out, or hey, I want to make a song. What's your phone number? And I'm a very strong believer in energy, and I think that energy can be transferred through various mediums, and I think texts are one of them. And people being able to just say whatever they want to you at any time is dangerous.
It's like social media.
Yeah, for sure. So I made a song basically being like, nah, you can't have my phone number. Like, if I called you and I told you I need you, how long would it take to come? You can't have my phone number. Like that's literally what the song is. I love it because it's like an anthem. Even if you're not listening to the verses or the words I'm saying, it's still catchy. Like that's what I try to do. I want to make something that's like catchy, but then if you actually listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, this is like real.
Like, now, so I mean, you mentioned New Jersey and you know all these various places that you're working with people with. I ain't trying to force nobody on you, but I know somebody in Cali that friend of the show and whatnot, and you looking to branch out and work with different artists. I'm just kind of
what's his name?
Sir John Lee. That's a sir, like sir. How you doing, sir? John Jon Lee, Lee, like Bruce Lee. Hiya.
Sir, can you send it to me?
So I bring him up only because you two share the same social media acumen, to where like he had all this shit on his Instagram, just posting all kind of crazy stuff in collaboration with his new projects and shit. And then once that shit was done, all them pictures disappeared. It started over again. I was like, hey man, I was trying to get this picture for the podcast because I usually put a person's picture and shit. And I went back and all the shit was gone or whatever. And I was like, you people in your art.
I don't know. I can't speak for him, but for me, it's like it's a purge, because it's like when I put something out, I'm like, okay, that part of my life is over. It is not over because people are still experiencing it. Even maybe like 20 years from now, they're still experiencing it. But for me, that part of my life is done. So like, it doesn't need to stay in my phone.
Word. Yeah.
I can't speak for him though, but that's my thought process behind like deleting everything.
It's similar because
it's just like it's gone now.
It's similar because I talk to him often about that or whatever, and he's just like, well, I mean, it was for the project. The project is done, so I'm moving on to the next.
It's gone. 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'll be interested in a Dende and Sir John Lee collaboration or whatever. We'll shoot that off to the side for a later date. But you talk about your expressions across social media and whatnot. You also started a Twitch channel not too long ago
Mhm.
and whatnot. So what has that experience been like to you? Because not only do you play video games, you kind of shop some of your old music and whatnot, play clips from your podcast and whatnot. So what has Twitch kind of been like for you so far?
Twitch is a whole nother community of people. Like, there's people on all my other social media that get on Twitch,
Mhm.
but there's a whole sect of people that are only on Twitch, and
Yeah.
it's weird. Like, it's those people are cool because they understand how Twitch works.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I go on there and I play old music, I play unreleased music, I play games. I'll um I'll go on there and hate watch videos. I haven't done it in a while, but hate watching videos is basically me telling people, send me videos you think I'll hate, and I'll react to them. And I haven't had someone send me a video that I liked. I hated them all. Um, it's cool. It's a cool experience though because you get to like do live. It's kind of a live performance, but it's not a performance. It's just you being yourself
Mhm.
and doing the things that you're doing at that moment, but there's a camera on you.
Yeah. And it was funny because we talked about the All Cap podcast, and I remember seeing a clip from it where y'all prank called the bookstore, half price books or
Yeah.
whatever. And I happened to fall into one of your Twitch streams, and that was one of the ones I requested you play, and you played that shit. That shit just hilarious to me.
I love we need to start prank calling people again. That one was really funny just because the fact that lady like was scared.
Yeah.
Like and I felt bad after, but she was just like, "Oh, we need to pull these books." She was so PC that she was ready to pull all the books.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing was, the reason I said Kurt Vonnegut is because all the books in my house, like almost all the books in my house, are Kurt Vonnegut books. So that's the first name I thought of. Like, and she obviously didn't know who that was.
Well, shit.
So,
I mean, I ain't gonna. I'm always transparent with my guests. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
all
So
right. So Kurt Vonnegut is a guy that makes sci-fi books.
okay.
But what I told her was he got caught in blackface, which is
Oh
not
yeah,
true at
yeah.
all. He's very critical of government. Even in his sci-fi, it's still like there's a story and there's like a if you pay attention enough, he's critical of certain things
Mhm.
like government and how they do things and racism and stuff like that. So I told her that Kurt Vonnegut got caught doing blackface, and she doesn't know who he is, and he's been
All
dead.
she heard was blackface.
Yeah, or that he's been dead for a very long time. and she heard blackface, she was like, "Oh, we're gonna take it down," and she was ready to like take the books off the shelves.
Shit, not only was you ready to take them off the shelves, you about to burn the damn section down.
Yeah, she was ready. I felt really bad after because I was just like, "Oh, she's doing her job," but it was really funny just because like people are willing to do anything without any like
No questions.
validation
Yeah.
of like if I'm really who I am. What I told her I was like Steve from corporate. That's literally what I said. I'm like I'm Steve from corporate. This is all I told her, and she was just like, "Okay, it's ridiculous." Like,
Yeah. I forgot. It was to a point to where I was in a similar situation to where like somebody was like, "Hey, this is such from somewhere up here, and we need you to do this." And I was just like, "So we not sending no memos or nothing? You
yeah,
ain't
what
getting
is
in
this?
contact with my boss. Why are you talking to me directly? I mean, something."
Yeah. You can't just be calling up to this to me. Like you can't be just messaging me and be like, "Hey, this is on you now."
You know,
And it makes no sense.
yeah, it's just like, oh, hold on, let me call you back right quick. Then I'm calling my boss. I'm like, hey man, this motherfucker on the phone talking about this and that and the third. I mean, it make no sense to me, but I just want to let you know before I do it.
Yeah. I feel like that's safe to run it by at least one other person
Mhm.
because then you'll be like, if I did something wrong, you'll be like, well, I told him.
Yeah,
Like, he said it was cool.
he said it was straight.
But old girl was ready to burn the books. so, like, you got to be safer. You know, you got to be safer out here.
So,
Shawty was ready to burn some books. She was about to burn them. I just told her to throw them away. She was about to burn them.
Yeah. So creatively and whatnot, I mean, you got the Me album, you got Phone Number out and whatnot. I mean, I seen you do a couple of I guess a couple of sessions on Twitter here not too long ago, just trying some different things out and whatnot. Is there anything in your mind as far as what the direction is next?
Honestly, I'm just going with the flow at this point. I'm not even convinced that the world's gonna open up again ever. I think we're stuck inside. I think they're gonna close again as soon as Biden's the president, and then we're done forever. And we're just inside, and we're living in like we're in what's that game? Ready Player Now. And we're
Oh
just gonna have
yeah.
to put on VRs.
I
But
refuse to wear shit on my face. I'm just
we're
like,
just gonna be
fuck it.
wearing VRs from now on. But honestly, direction wise, I don't know. I'm just trying to make content and put it out because my downfall has been making content and then holding on to it.
Ah.
So I'm just gonna put out everything that
But
I.
I mean that's kind of cool because I mean, Twitch provided you with that outlet. I've seen
Yeah, for sure.
put out old and unreleased stuff like how you were saying and whatnot. So I mean, as long as you keep that going, I believe that'll keep your mind working and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I put out very old stuff on Twitter, like 2015, 2014.
Yeah, because I remember you had some rap stuff on there and whatnot. Because I mean, you tend to do that from time to time, but you was like, yeah, man, it's like you said some verse on there. I forgot what it was. You was like, man, y'all ain't feeling that. So I didn't catch that. You didn't hear what I said. I'm gonna play it back for you real quick.
It's all nerd stuff, probably. All my older raps are either jokes or they're very nerdy. So I'll be like, at least get it. At least get what I was saying.
Hold on. Since I'm on Twitch, I pull up this window capture real quick. I pull up the reference on Wikipedia.
We'll just play it again. You just Google it. Google what I'm talking about. All right, guys.
But like, I mean, you talk about inspiration. I mean, Ready Player One and whatnot. I was like, well, why don't you already got a themed show for your podcast, the Dende Hour. Why don't you call it Ready Player Dende, your next project?
I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed, but then I would have to make I'd have to make a VR short film.
Ooh, see, we
That'd
opened
be-
up the
I feel like
possibilities,
that'd be
man, because it's not that hard from what I've seen. But then again, I've never tried it, so
it would just have to make it look like you're there though. So that might be a little bit harder. I don't know. We'd have to workshop that. We'd have to workshop that with people that know how to film stuff because I don't know how to film anything. I just try to stay to what I know how to do.
well, that's the thing, though. I mean, from what I've saw, you put out so many good visuals or whatever. I guess that's the creative team that's behind you and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, are those your ideas that they bring to life, or that's just something they come with after hearing your content?
No, it's pretty much anything that I put out visual wise. I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just them filming it and making it look good.
Mm-hmm.
But angles and a VR type of thing, I don't know anything about that. So it would be them. But yeah, my visuals are like it's just what I wrote. Like the song Road I wrote that and I was just like, this is the feeling of the song. This is what I want people to take from it, even if they don't understand. This is what I want this to mean. And that's pretty much how it rolls down from my visuals.
What was the joint surrounding the couch? Because I remember that for a long time.
So couches to me represent comfortability. Mm-hmm. Couches represent fellowship. Couches represent friendship. At the beginning of the video, I'm on this couch with my friends, and we're hanging out, and they're all very happy, but I'm like stone-faced, and I'm serious, and I'm sitting there. I'm just like, okay. And eventually, they just disappear, and they're not there anymore. And that just – and it even goes with the song because eventually I'm just like, I look around, all my friends gone. I go to all my shows, and everybody shows up, but all my friends are gone. I don't have any friends anymore. I felt like I had no friends anymore because I was putting what I wanted to do over talking every day. Like and then eventually I burned the couch, which was the comfortability leaving my life completely. Comfortability to me was like procrastinating, putting other things over my dream and my aspirations. That's just really what the couch thing was to me. It was literally comfortability because when I sit on the couch, I'm trying to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hang out with my friends. I'm trying to watch TV. That's what a couch is. I don't sit on the couch when I want to get something done. Like I've never sat on the couch and be like, I'm gonna get something done today. Never in my life. Never in my life.
This is true.
So
I
that's
never
what
really
that
thought
couch
about
was
it
for
like
me.
that.
That's what the couch was for me. It was just like that's comfortability, that's procrastination, that's friendship, that's fellowship, that's me putting off what I could do today till tomorrow. And yeah, that's why that burned up.
Shit, man. And if we talk about the Instagram shit again, I remember because you did it in like the little mosaic format and whatever. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, every day I'm looking for another post. Like, all right, I got to see the bigger picture. What is it's like? And I'm like, is that a couch? That couch is on fire. You know, when the whole thing with the couch and then just thinking about it and saying it in my head now, I'm always thinking about the Rick James skit. It was like, fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch, nigga.
You could have bought another couch.
That wasn't even my couch. That was
I asked you that.
My videographer, J-Tech, that was his couch. And he was like, we have to get rid of this couch anyway. And I was like, oh, we're gonna burn it. And he was like, oh, okay. And we burned it. I almost caught myself on fire.
Yeah.
The flames you see in the video are real flames.
Yes.
When you see me sitting on the couch and it's on fire, I'm literally sitting on a couch that's on fire. Because people have been like, damn, that CGI looks good. And I'm like that's not CGI. No. I almost caught myself on fire. Like, honestly, the further I got away from the couch, the more hot it was. Like, when I was standing up rapping in front of the couch on fire is when I felt myself burning. Like, I burned my arm. And like, but it wasn't a bad burn, but I burned my arm and I felt it. And I was like, oh, shit. But that wasn't even when I was sitting on it. It was when I was in front of it. It was weird.
I mean, hey man, that's an experience for you. I mean, that's pain in your art.
I guess I didn't want to feel pain when I was making it those. But it did have a purpose. Like, it wasn't just we're gonna burn this couch. It was like it served a purpose. Like, we did it for a reason, and it might not come off as a reason for everybody, but that's why I did it.
I mean,
so I don't really care. I don't really care if everybody gets it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's even weird in itself or whatever. I mean, you had this idea, somebody was trying to bring it to life, and it just so happened that person had a couch. I mean, what would happen, if he didn't have a couch? I mean, where would you acquire a couch just to set up?
I would have bought one. That was the thing. Like, that was the whole premise of the video was a couch. So I was going to buy one if he didn't have one, was the thing. He had one though. So he was, and I was like, well, are you willing to burn this couch? And he was like, we can use it. And I was like, well, are you willing to burn
this couch?
And he was like, I mean, we don't need it. It was in his garage. So I was like, seriously, this is a real conversation. Like, if you aren't willing to burn the couch, I'll go get one. I'll buy a cheap couch and we can burn it. But he was like, no, we don't use it. So I'm like, all right, man. so he burned the couch.
Goddamn couch.
Yeah, that's my comfortability going out the window, man. I refuse to be comfortable because comfortable to me means complacent. And it might not mean that to everybody, but to me, comfortable means complacent. I don't like being comfortable. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel lazy.
Word. So, I mean, what do you do to kind of combat that or whatever? You just keep moving around or what?
Yeah, I've never been diagnosed, but I think I have ADHD. If you haven't noticed now, I can't sit still.
Oh, nobody can.
I kind of just, I'm always moving. I live life like that. Mm-hmm. If I'm not doing something, I think I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So
I know the feeling exactly or whatnot. It's just like I got all this shit in here and I come in here and I try to be productive and do some work. And then all of a sudden I'm on clickbait, going down a rabbit hole of YouTube and shit. And then I look at my clock. I was like, oh shit, it's 2 hours later. And then I was like, fuck, I've been in here 2 hours. That means that's 2 hours I ain't been out there with my family. And then I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah. It's just it's a cycle that I try not to lend myself to make sure that I don't feel like I'm unproductive though. I just try to do as many things as possible, which is why I have 2 podcasts and
Yeah.
I make music and I go to work and I work out every day and like I just want to make sure I'm doing something at all times.
Okay. Well, and back to kind of reel back a little bit on what we talked about earlier. Your favorite song, I think it's from the Me album, is
Mhm.
"Run."
Yeah.
One of the favorite songs that you've done.
Mhm.
Now, what's your attachment to that?
That was, I don't know if you saw, but you say you follow me. I came out earlier this year as bisexual,
Mhm,
and that was the song where I came out before I came out.
mhm,
And it was like it's a very personal song to me because it was the first time I like spoke about not being that way, but how it made me feel
yeah.
as a person. Um, and doing that so raw made it my favorite song. Like originally, I recorded that song, and it was like a studio version of the song.
Yeah. Mhm,
And then the guitarist Halston, I called him and I was like, "Hey, can you come over? And we're gonna record this in a room." And I literally put a mic in the middle of the room, and he played it. He plugged his guitar into an amp, and he played it out loud. And I sang out loud, and I was like, "This is the emotion I want in the song." So like there's a version of the song that's like a studio recording like the rest of the album,
mhm.
but the version that's on the album is like a room version of you're gonna get the emotion of what I actually feel in this song. Um it's like a real attachment and real emotion that all the songs in that album I feel have emotion, but that one is the most because I didn't even say anything after it came out. I said something way after it came out. Like because at first I wanted to say something when it came out. I was like, no, because I feel like people are gonna think it's not genuine if
Mhm.
I say something right now.
Yeah.
So I just let it sit, and I was like, people don't know what I'm talking about in this song. They just think it sounds good,
Mhm.
and I let it sit, and then I actually like talked about what it was. So that's why that song means so much to me.
Mhm. It's kind of
It's the most personal song I have.
yeah, it's kind of like what you were talking about on your Twitch. You're just like you playing the old stuff. He's like, wait a minute, I don't think y'all caught that. Let me play this again real quick.
Like this is what you heard, but this is what I meant.
Yeah.
Like this is what it is.
Mhm. So after the reveal and everything, because I do remember that, but like I ain't trying to gloss over it or whatever, because I mean that's a big step for
Mhm,
somebody like you to do something like that. It's
mhm,
just like I don't look at that type of stuff. I was just like you're a person, you're a human being. It doesn't matter what
100%.
your orientation is. So
And I
I
wouldn't
just
want you
yeah, exactly.
to.
Nobody see right there. There you go. I like that. So it's just like, what was that after you got it out there in the open, and it's just like it was known now? Has anything been different for you?
Not really. Lost a lot of followers, gained a bunch, didn't really care. It was that message wasn't for the general public. It was more for the people around me because the message was um this is who I am as a person. I've
Mhm,
already talked to the people that actually matter to me in my immediate, which is my girl.
mhm.
Um and if you don't like this, you don't have to be in my life.
Yeah. Fuck your
And
couch.
yeah, fuck your couch. If you don't like it, fuck your couch. People unfollowed me. A lot of people followed me. It got a lot of attention that I didn't think it was going to get because it was a spur of the moment thing. It wasn't a planned thing. It was like I literally got drunk one night and was like, "This
Fuck
is
it.
the time now." I was like, "Now I'm gonna do it, or I'll never do it," and I did it. It's like, oh shit. Nothing really changed. Honestly, people still treat me the same. It's just like
You feel a little
it,
bit better, right?
yeah, it's a liberating feeling for sure. It's just like, all right, now I feel like, because it wasn't for other people. It was really just for me to feel like I'm being completely myself. Because when I made me, I was like, this is going to be me being myself 100%. And even though I was being myself 100%, I wasn't because I didn't actually
He's hiding that
explain.
little bitty piece.
It was still something I was just like, y'all don't know. So
Mhm.
I was just like, all right, I'm gonna be 100% myself. And it was also a good way to weed out the people I don't really want to listen to my music because I feel like a lot of people that listen to my music and they're like, oh damn, this guy wants to be a superstar, and I don't. I would like it. It'd be cool, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be a superstar, and I can lose fans. Like, I can lose if you don't agree with a certain aspect of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I can
that's why
lose.
you
I
cut
can
that
lose
shit
it.
off. Yeah, you cut that
Yeah.
shit off at the knees now, you know,
I
while I'm
can.
here or whatever. So when I get
Yeah.
up here, it's no fucking problem.
I can lose you. It's okay. Bye. Like, it's. I don't really care. You know. It's. I cut off the. I was protesting. I cut off the racists. Then I did that, and I cut off the homophobes. It was just like, all right, we cutting off everybody. What's
There you
next?
go.
What we cutting off next? We gotta get them out of here.
Word. So I mean, what I ask every artist that's ever come on this show and whatnot, you do music, yeah, you're prone to collaborate with people. If you can have any three people to collaborate with, you know, living or dead, who would it be?
Smino, Saba, Andre 3000.
Word. And I just recently seen Andre 3000. You seen him lately playing that damn flute and
That
shit?
fucking flute.
Yeah.
I love Andre. I love Andre so much. I lived in Atlanta for a year actually, but I loved him before that. Um, Something about him, because Outkast is great,
Mm-hmm.
and people like to attribute it to Andre, but it was mostly because of Big Boy. But I love Andre. Like, something about him is very eccentric, and that's the type of artist I like. So I like him a lot.
Word. I almost partly thought the freaking Megazord was gonna come up out of the ocean and shit, and damn, he playing that flute.
He was good at it too. It was wild.
Yeah.
He was pretty good at it. I didn't even know what kind of flute that was.
Yeah.
It was like wood. What flute is this, bro?
I don't know. He might have sat on his back porch and carved it himself and shit.
I feel like he carved the flute. Like, I really do.
I don't know. I mean, you seen how he look. I mean, it's just like a man that doesn't want for nothing, have all the time in the world. That's what it
He
looks
looks
like.
like the kind of person that would carve a flute.
Oh shit. But yeah, I mean, fuck it. Why not? I want to carve a flute now. Just thinking about.
I was Andre 3000. I would carve a flute.
There it is. I mean, that's kind of that's the motif we're gonna go out on tonight. You know, if you feel like carving a flute, carve a flute. God damn it. That's if that's what you feel in your soul and in your heart, carve that motherfucking flute.
I'm actually gonna try to do it now.
Oh no!
Now that you're saying this, I'm gonna try to do it.
All right, I want either Twitch documentation or, well, now I ain't gonna say Instagram because you're just gonna fuck around and delete it when you finish. So if I don't catch it all, I just missed out the whole journey in the process and shit. So fuck all that. But anyway, man, it's been a pleasure to sit here and rap with you a little bit, man, and daggone pick your brain and get into the process of all that is you. So before we go, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and what you got going on.
You can follow me on Instagram at I am Dende, Twitter at Dende is me, Twitch at Dende is me. If you don't want to remember those two different names, you can go to www.imdende.com. You can get all my music on my social media. You can get to my Twitch, my music videos, everything like that. My podcasts, all of that good stuff. You know, not really working on anything. Just playing games, hanging out, being cool.
Customizing penises and shit is all right.
Yo, customizing my penis on Cyberpunk 2077. Made my dick the biggest dick you can make it. Circumcised though.
I mean, shit, it's driving in another car beside him. It's so big.
That's weird. It is a real choice that you can choose circumcised or uncircumcised.
Oh, I thought you were about to say it's a choice to have a dick driving in another car. I was like, man, I need to get off this podcast right now and start playing it.
Go play the fucking game.
But as it is for all guests of the Random Rounds with Rob, the door is always open for you to come back to freaking promote your next big thing or just to shoot the shit.
For sure. I have fun.
Word. Seal of approval. That's the only one I need. All right. So we are clear, sir.
Gucci. It was dope, man. Appreciate you again.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate your time. So I got the video, I got the audio. I chopped this up, and it the audio will be out on Sunday. I release every Sunday, so the audio will be out Sunday. And tomorrow, if I ain't sitting on my couch, the video will be out tomorrow as well, or at least Sunday when the audio drop.
That's what's up. What branch of the military are you in?
I was in the Marine Corps.
So was my dad. I was gonna ask you, but I forgot. My dad was in Marines too.
Word.
And that's probably why. It's probably why I'm like really disciplined, but I'm also a piece of shit.
That makes sense. We are disciplined pieces of shit.
Yeah, my dad was definitely in the Marines. Yeah, thank you again for having me on here, man. I really appreciate it.
Word, man. Appreciate it. So I'll be banging this all over social media next week and everything, and I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, bro.
If you're posting clips or anything, just send it to me and I'll post them too.
Okay. Oh yeah. You already got dude name down, Sir John Lee, right?
No, send it to me.
Very well. I
promise I'll forget it as soon as we hang up. Like,
see,
that's
the whole.
I'm not being a dick. I'm so serious.
I know, because like that's the whole reason why I do a recorded medium, because I forget a lot of the shit I say, and that's why I have a video and audio documentation of it. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember saying that shit. Hold on.
Prove it. Yeah, I will not remember. So send me that, like,
all right,
and I'll do it.
All right.
I'll hit them up.
Well, take it easy, man. Go customize your penis some more.
All right, you have a good night, bro.
All right.